I could break these cuffs.
You can't break those cuffs. We appreciate your cooperation now, okay?
Enough. Enough, I say. Goodness. What is up? Oh my. I'm missing something. There we go. Oh man. Hello. What is up? Hopefully everyone is doing all right. Welcome once again to another little installment of these streams that I have just titled Let's Talk About. What's with the smug face? It's my face. I always have this look on my face, unless I'm really pissed off. You should play all the Halo games in order. I refused to play 4 and 5. I didn't like either of them. I played like an hour of Halo 5, and I'm like, this isn't fun. I just moved on to something else. But hello. Hopefully everyone is having a good Tuesday. Oh man, I'm having an interesting one. Just kind of an interesting week in general. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things, just to kind of get them out of the way, and just go from there. Some of you might have seen this on Twitter. Most of you probably did not. But I am going to acknowledge it here. Serena, sadly, is no longer working with us at Grindstone. We've decided to part ways. So, Grindstone is not going to be publishing Black Rhapsody Book 2. However, the door is open for Serena to return in the future. We just decided to part ways for now. And yeah. We wish her the best. I still recommend that people go check out the book if it looks good. Definitely back it on Indiegogo. It could use some help, so something to keep in mind. But effectively, Grindstone is changing a bit. We are downsized effectively at this point. It is effectively it's a 2-man operation now, where instead of the other people that were with me on staff, we've separated with them as well, and we are just going to rely on contractors at this point, because I won't. Well, for the sake of privacy, I will not go into details as to why, but it's a change that was needed. We'll just put it that way. So, I do apologize for some of you out there who might have been, who might be frustrated with this, with us parting ways with Serena. But don't worry, she's still a great person, and I wish her the best. But regardless, and we might see her again in the future around here. You never know. So, but I want to get that out of the way because some people were confused on Twitter as to what exactly had happened there. So, but definitely, again, still support her work. She's good. She's still, somebody that I had the pleasure to teach. So, I hope that she finds success. I have a question for you guys. I need a rating on something. Why am I... Oh, it's the Hatman avatar. I need a rating on something. I need you guys to rate how mean this statement is from yours truly on a scale of 1 to 10. For those of you who can't read it, I'll make it a little bigger. It's in response to something that someone had said on Twitter. And this is going to lead into a rant, so trust me, it's relevant. Someone named Softendo, who says they are a socialist Hollow EN fan and a certified Super Mario player. I don't know what a uncertified... Where do you get Mario player certification? Is that something that Nintendo doles out that I was unaware of? Because I've been playing Mario since I was like... I've been playing Mario for like 40 years. Well, not quite 40 years, but 30-ish years. But she says here, first it was Vivi, now it's Corone playing the Turf Potter game. Hollow JP management has to step in and do something. No EN talent has ever played this game. Not true. And I do believe that their side of management also recommended them not to. No evidence of that. Especially if you say you're a Hakos Bells fan. Bay is the one, is the one person on the EN side that played it. I remember the stream. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I said this very mean thing. And I again, scale of 1 to 10, how mean this is. I said they don't have to do shit. Their management doesn't care about your political opinions or your inability to get over an author disagreeing with you. This is where I think it got really mean. If this bothers you so much and you just can't deal, then 40% yourself. Or just don't watch it and be less insane. So guys, scale of 1 to 10, how mean was that? Genuinely curious as to what you guys think. A 2? Wow. 8 out of 10, 2 or 3. 1? 8 out of 10, 8. I could be a lot meaner if than I wanted. Maybe a 3. It's deserved, but it's probably an 8. A 10? We're hitting the whole gamut here. Super mean 10 out of 10. See, after 6 out of 10, mean enough just to get the point across. Not enough to make you look like an insane asshole. Fair enough. I had a follow-up to it. I said, I'm genuinely past the point of niceties with these people. I don't care if you're trans or not. The world does not fucking revolve around you. If you can't deal with the world or with life, there are plenty of ways to make it end prematurely. Or just stop being an ass. Then I put out again. That I turned into low-tier Micah last night. I think I might have severe spoiled brat fatigue. And I think this is where I'm at, and this is where my rant today comes in. I am beyond sick and fucking tired of people who are entitled as fuck. Will I play Helldivers 2 at some point? I am never playing Helldivers 2 again. And I will get to that later. But thank you for the $2. I have spoiled brat fatigue. I think that there are just like, and I think like Blue Sharky here says it quite well. To be fair, we lost a good VTuber because of these haters, so I don't blame you for having no tolerance for this freak. Yeah, and that's the thing. This is where the like, I don't buy into like when people say I have black fatigue. No, you don't. You don't leave your house. Shut the fuck up. What you have is bad behavior fatigue. Because, which by the way is normal. And I'm going to call it spoiled brat fatigue, or just, you know, criminal fatigue, which everybody should have criminal fatigue. Everybody gets sick and tired of people misbehaving. Everybody gets sick and tired of people being jerks. Everybody's sick and tired of people not being able to act even quasi-civilized. And to be completely frank, this is where I'm at with this. I am so sick and fucking tired of people acting like everything has to completely align with what they think the world needs to be. The world has to revolve around them. It doesn't revolve around you. It's never going to revolve around you. It's not just you. Most of America can't stand cancel culture anymore. Same with me. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, at first I thought of it as kind of like empathy fatigue. Like, everybody's telling me that I have to care about this particular, I have to care about this, I have to care about that. And I just said to myself, I'm like, do I really have to care about this? Do I really have to care? Because what, and this is the thing that gets my goat about it. The amount of people that will change the world are very slim. And more often than not, the people that will change the world are not going to be in the arts. Sometimes the arts can change your perception on things, but modern writing and modern just arts in general, and I don't mean like the concept of modern art like taping a fucking banana to the wall, which I am still 100% of the opinion that was done for money laundering purposes, and all the or at least the money that was paid for it. But many of the things that we see that are written nowadays, they are poorly written, obviously, but they're also very preachy. And that's part of the reason as to why we've seen movie sales go down. That's why we've seen less people subscribing to certain subscription services that put out a bunch of preachy garbage. That's why you see backlashes towards people that get too preachy. Keep in mind, the Netflix star rating system used to you used to be able to rate a film or something like by stars, and then they put out an Amy Schumer special. I think it was called the Leather Special or something like that, and it fucking bombed because it was bad. It just wasn't good, and even the crowd wasn't even that into it. And they ended up changing the rating system to where you could just give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and you couldn't see what the overall rating of it was, which, by the way, as time has gone on, it has made Netflix worse as a streaming platform because you can't get feedback from the other people that watch things. So you might end up watching a movie that's just fucking ass, you know? But anyway, it's this idea that everything has to be a certain belief perspective, or this is not allowed to exist, or you're not allowed to interact with it. Here's the thing, though. Did the world change after the fucking Wizard game came out? No. The world did not change. And the Wizard game, if there was any change in the world, was not the catalyst for that change. If there was any change in the world that started this fatigue towards people with 12 fucking genders in their profiles, it was, as the chat is talking about, the cancellation of Pick-a-Me and Silvervale, which we've even gotten more details on. We found out that part of the reason she left V Shoujo was because of the Office reaction to her playing the fucking Wizard game. So effectively, the progressive talent-first company, I know I'm shaking my desk a lot with that, but talent-first company, effectively, as to use their terms, victim blamed someone and made them out to be the villain for just wanting to play a video game about Harry Potter's universe. The fuck? That would be like if... This is going to sound like the dumbest shit, but I want you guys to bear with me. I'm just kind of adjusting my camera. I want you guys to bear with me. I want you to imagine an alternate universe where the Daily Wire created a VTuber company, which sounds like a fucking nightmare. Could you imagine Matt Walsh as a VTuber? That'd be a fucking disaster. But they create, like, some right-wing company, media company, creates a VTuber company, and they stream Dustborn and got harassed for it by right-wingers, and then they blamed the person who played it. Like, these people would be up in arms, but you know, when it's absolutely insane to me that it's because it's just a fucking video game. And maybe this is chauvinistic of me, but more often than not, women are more emotional than men. I don't think that's unfair to say. Men and women, like, if it's unfair to say that men and women are different, I'm going to need you to go outside and touch some grass. But the fact is that there is a sorry, the Daily Wire VTuber thing is still stuck in my brain. That would make a really good, like, animated parody. Like, what if the Daily Wire created a VTuber company? Oh, man. Somebody needs to do that. Just don't use AI. But, golly. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that we saw a lot of the people on the Twitter that were targeting people like Silverveil and Pikami were biological men picking on women. And I look at that and I go, this is interesting. South Park could do that. Yeah, that would be interesting. But, has South Park done a video on the VTuber phenomenon? I don't think they have. I don't think that's in Matt and Trey's radar. I would absolutely love to see a South Park episode about idol culture and about like the parasocial element of VTubing. Dameless throws in $5 says they were the same guys who mocked fundies for claiming HP was satanic in the 2000s. This is a religious backlash given woke as a religion now. Well, it's kind of like it's basically like a whatchamacallit, a horseshoe theory sort of a thing. You know, the more authoritarian you get, you start to see similarities between the two. A lot of the woke scolds who say you can't play the wizard game are effectively reflections of the people who say you can't play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You know, the ones who lied about it being like a pedophile game, that the main characters were under the age of under the age of 18 and all this other shit, with none of which was true. Even with one of the actors in the game flat out said it wasn't true. On top of the creators and all this other stuff saying no, they are not this age in the game. That's just what they were, that age they were in real life. Like, it's a reflection of that. You know, you start seeing that on both ends, and it's honestly patently ridiculous. It really is. In regard, like, and I guess in the interest of fairness, both sides are doing it these days. There are people that will get legitimately pissed off if you play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or you say it's not woke, or something along those lines. V did a video, which, by the way, the incredibly logical and analytical atheist V, who did a video, and then a bunch of people were talking shit about Lolly, the almighty Lolly, not Lolly characters, for defending KCD2, even, like, and I'm like, dude, V is a guy who told the original art director for Silent Hill, who also had helped Bloober Team out with the Silent Hill 2 remake, said that he was not good enough to work with the people at Team Silent. One of the founders of it. South Park is full woke right now, not sure what the fuck happened. I'll believe it when I see it. Because too many people think being critical of Donald Trump is woke. That's bullshit. There's nothing wrong with being critical of Donald Trump. People were mad at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because there was a smart Moroccan in the game, even though they were more advanced in Europe at the time. Well, that's the thing. It's, again, Mitch, I'm going to say this again. You don't need to autistically try to defend it. Like, I'll believe it when I see it, means I will watch it for myself. You're not going to convince me. So just knock it off. The fact of the matter is that, like, the Moors were around that time period. And from what I understand, He's there to forge an alliance with the bad guys. What the fuck is the problem? Do you not... I answer my own question if they don't know, if they know the history of Europe or not. Desort throws in a couple euros, says, thanks for the kazoo version of Halo's theme. You're welcome. Have I seen the new South Park episode? I have not. Again, I just said I haven't watched it. Folks, I have to do this now. This is your disappointed uncle looking at you. Pay attention. I said I haven't watched it yet. That's what I'll believe it when I see it means. Just for that, because I can't spray you with water. I try my best, J360. Thank you. Uncle Micah has a nice ring to it. Yeah, it's something that it's true. I am an uncle. I have several nieces and nephews. 5, I think. Let me count. Okay. No, 6. Sorry, I forgot one. One of my sisters is gonna fucking kill me at Christmas. But yeah, I've been unk status forever. Like, I'm 39, believe it or not. Well, I think 39 is pretty easy to believe with how many gray hairs I have, honestly. I was in a discussion yesterday. I was making arrangements for Cyberpop's fulfillment, and I was talking to our contractor for fulfillment, just making the final arrangements with him so that we can get Cyberpop fulfilled pretty easily. It like fucking we were talking about how we're getting older, and then I'm like, yeah, you know, it's kind of obvious I'm getting older. I'm like, you can see all the gray in my beard, which I trimmed my beard yesterday, so it's not as gray as it usually is, but yeah, when it starts growing out, it's very gray. So I'm an uncle too. Just realized that we're about the same age. Thanks for making me feel old. I do my best. I will say this though, I'm kind of embracing it, or at least I'm trying to. And since my vacation, now that I have, you know, room to exercise in my living room, I've been trying to do that more often. It's making me feel a lot better. So, Collector throws in $10. Says, I'm 1 year younger than you, sir. Here's a tenner for the Uncle Micah fund. God bless. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's the, being an uncle's nice. I like being an uncle. Didn't have the opportunity to have kids myself, so, you know, being an uncle is quite nice. But anywho, this is something, because it goes into the whole kids thing. People are starting to realize that there is such a huge disparity between how kids were raised from like guys that are my age to the current generation. It's like, it's bad. And a lot of that is like the microcosm of it you see on social media. There's just a lot of people that just act fucking entitled all the goddamn time. And what makes it even worse is it's actually starting to rub off onto people that are older. You know, like we've seen an influx of Karens. There's a lot more Karens now than there used to be. And I'm not the only person that's noticed it. Like I've talked to other people that I know here in town that Like, they talk, it's like the amount of Karens that they deal with every single day is double what it used to be. And on top of that, a lot of these Karens are kind of clued in to the old tactics of how to get people to calm down, de-escalation as we call it. They're clued into that, and they just ignore it and ignore those statements until you give them what they want. And it's just there's a narcissism epidemic. There's a lot of people out there that are convinced that they are more important than they are. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Because nobody wanted to put belt to ass. Yeah, basically. I have met people my own age that say they refuse to spank their children. I was at a group meeting for a church I was at once, and somebody just flat out said, it's just so traumatic. BlackRock is behind that problem. Stop. No, this is not InfoWars. BlackRock is not the reason for bad parenting. Stop it. The problem with bad parenting is stupid choices by stupid people. Trying to... The societal problem comes from what is called Chesterton's fence. Chesterton's fence is a bit of philosophy, of course introduced by G.K. Chesterton, a theologian, where basically there's two types of people that would find a fence in the woods. There's the people that will jump the fence with no regard for what is on the other side of it because they don't care why it's there. It's just an obstacle, so they're not going to do it. Then there's the people that wonder, why is this fence here? The ones who will wonder why the fence is there are the smarter ones, because generally speaking, what could be on the other side of the fence is a minefield. You don't know, and it's best to be smart about it. Excuse me. What a lot of people my age who became parents, they made the mistake of thinking that because I didn't like to be spanked as a child, I shouldn't do it to my kids. They also... Some parents that are my age treated their kids like they're fucking fashion accessories. Basically, oh, here's my son. He just matches my couch, you know. Things along those lines. Or they think that their kids are their friends. No, they're not. They are not your friends. It's a different relationship. You are supposed to raise them. They are not your buddy. Like, I remember my dad telling me this, and he put it so well when I was a kid. I go, Dad, you're my best friend. And he goes, no, I'm not. He goes, I'm your dad. Dad is better than being a best friend. I didn't get it when I was a kid. As time has gone on, I get it. You know? And my dad and I are very close. Like, I'm closer to my dad than I am my mom. And a big thing about it is that child rearing is important. Discipline is important. And more often than not, like, I meet a lot of people that just do not have the discipline that it takes to really be functioning adults on every functional level. A lot of it being like like just being basic discipline. You know, having a work ethic. Knowing that whenever I get up, I gotta do something, you know. You can be friends with your kids after they're mature enough to behave and not be a brat like at 25. Well, that's the thing. The relationship with your parents will always change as you get older, but they're still your mom and dad. They're still there to advise you and to to help guide you through things so that you don't make the same mistakes that they did effectively, you know. But I get that, I get where you're coming from. You know, it definitely becomes more friendly because they don't have to hit you as often. But like kids like this, like that idiot that I just showed, like clearly was never spanked. Right? Clearly was never properly disciplined. And I'll say this right now. My parents were not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Love them as much as I do. They were not perfect. And they have confessed to me more than once that they have, you know, messed up a couple of times with things. And, you know, we love each other. So we talk about it and we grew past it, you know? And the thing with this, and the reason you want to be tough on your kids is because if you're not tough on them now, when they get out to the world, reality is going to hit them and they're not going to be able to deal. Like, I have met so many people that when it comes to the reality of just business, they can't cope. Like, at all. They just cannot cope with it. They get entitled. They think that everything is supposed to revolve around them. It's like, no. And honestly, like, that's why I'm not an anti-military person, even though I don't like war. The thing about the military is that the military does teach you certain things about life that are going to help you as you grow older. Because you learn discipline. You learn chain of command. You learn that some people are leaders, some people aren't, and the quicker you figure it out, the better. Seen that too? You were in the military? See, my dad was Army. My dad was an assistant drill sergeant. So imagine growing up with an assistant drill sergeant father who's also a preacher. A lot of discipline in my house. But I was raised with that, you know, effectively those same sort of ideas. Learning very quickly there's a chain of command. Learning very quickly that everybody has a place and a role and something that they can do. It's not always static, but you know, it's a good thing to know. You had it rough? I wouldn't say that I had it that rough, honestly. It wasn't easy, but the things that made my childhood difficult were not my father, like, at all. If anything, my dad is the main reason I survived a lot of really heinous shit that happened to me. Like I remember telling him, I want to say it was when I was about 27. It was around the time that I was like, I'd lived here in this city for a couple of years. I just said to him, I'm like, you know, it was when I was 26, because now I remember the conversation. I went and I visited him during the summer. We were out walking around, and I just said to him, I said, you know, just at some point when I was mopping the floor at the hotel that I work at, while my reports were printing and everything was getting done all according to plan, I said, it just clicked. And I realized why he did everything the way he did. And why he taught me the things that he did. And, you know, that's one thing that I've noticed, is that's the whole reason that parenting is supposed to be the way that it is. You don't want it to be this thing where, you know, you're not preparing your kid for the world and the harshness of the world. Because if you don't, you're setting them up to fail over and over and over again. So people these days are probably displaying their ego to everyone and thinking to themselves that they aren't losers, basically. And here's the thing, like this is what life has taught me, but also my dad and my mom's parenting taught me. Some days you're a loser, some days you're a winner. It just depends on the day. And the best thing to do is to just get through it and focus on the things and the people you love. And that's it. That's what I do. You know? Collector throws in another tenor, says, that's why I like your channel. You demonstrate you have a good sense of fairness and discipline, even if you lean a little more left than I do. That said, we can still be friends. See, that's the funny thing. I'm just more of like a libertarian kind of guy. You know? I am my philosophy is I love being a red-blooded American Christian. I enjoy that about my life. I have a good life in this country. I am blessed to have been born here. And I do my best to not squander it, and I do my best to not disrespect the fact that I am as blessed as I am. So yeah, I'm a very lucky guy in some certain respects. I'm very unlucky in others. But man alive, there's just like the whole thing with these spoiled brats. It's just like I get so sick of it. Like and it's so wild to me. Like there's so many people out there, especially the older ones of us that are here. You'll notice that there's a lot of people out there these days that do not know how to communicate with other people. They really don't. Like they have no conscious idea of how to communicate with other people. I will get people that come up to me and say things to me that are incredibly insulting, and then act as if it's just normal conversation. And one particular person I know that would do this all the time, I had to flat out say to him, like, I'm going to punch you in the face. And he's like, what? Why? I'm like, you just insulted me. That's why. What the fuck did I do to you? You know? And a lot of it is just they didn't learn how to talk to people. Like, you can't just go up there and say things like that. You know? I say that when I told somebody to off themselves earlier. But, you know, it's... I would like to think I was proving a point. Is basically if... My whole thing is this. If the world was as bad as some people thought it was, they would off themselves. If you keep living in this world that is oh so terrible, clearly you see that you can pull something out of it. You know? Which spoiled douchebag in particular inspired this stream? A Brazilian transgender person that was going after Corone, of all people, for playing the fucking wizard game. Mainly because they raised the next generation to be raised by tablet social media influencers. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what was the insult? Must have stung bad. I told them to 40% themselves. But Leo makes a good point. Like, one thing that I always found interesting, that like around, this is when I worked at State Farm, right? So I would be at my desk. We would have just a bunch of tasks that need to be done. Like, bills would need to be paid, you know, for customers that are getting their cars repaired. So I'd go in, verify that all the proper parts are being used, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just, you know, clicking away. And one thing that I would just notice is that the only interaction I would have with my phone, oddly enough, I have a vest in here. This used to have sleeves. But I would wear this exact shirt. I'll throw it on real quick. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of like what I would do. Yeah. The sleeves got fucked up on this, so that's why I cut them off and just turned it into a vest. because this is what I would call my painting vest, because it's got so many pockets on it. But what I would do is I would just put my phone in this pocket right here, plug in my headphones, and that was the only interaction I had with my phone. And then I would just click, and I would just be going a million miles an hour on my work, right? And one thing I would notice is that all of the other, like, there were other people on the floor that between tasks were checking their phone and were like scrolling Twitter, or they're texting people and stuff like that. I'm like, am I the only one who realizes we're at work right now? You know? And it's something that it's very strange for me. Like, one thing that I'm trying not to be super preacher, but I was a minister at one point. One thing that my favorite book of the Bible is Ecclesiastes. And my favorite part of the book, I forget what chapter it is. I'm going to look it up real quick. But there's a season for everything. I'm going to read it real quick. Don't give me the King James Version. Give me New International, please. Thank you. It says chapter 3. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, time to kill, time to heal, time to tear down and a time to build, time to weep, time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Everything has a purpose to it, and it has its time and place. And there is no, like, part of being an adult is understanding what time and what place these things are supposed to be done at. If you're being paid by someone to do something, or you want money, you have to understand that that time that you're going to invest is not a time to rip, a time to tear. Technically speaking, part of the scripture is saying there is a time to rip and a time to tear. It's the time to rip and a time to mend. But the fact of the matter is that there is a time and a place for everything. And if you can't recognize when those times are, you can't recognize when your time has been paid for by someone else. How are you going to survive as an adult? How are you going to hold down a job? How are you going to be good at that job to where you can make more money at that job? You know? It's so wild to me. And just like other things, like people shirking away from responsibility. Shirking away from things like that. It's like, the fuck are you doing? That's the attitude. I'm not a fan. You know what I am a fan of, though? Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. As if my giant gut was not evidence of that. That's actually one thing I plan on making this week for food. Probably going to make it tomorrow, actually. It's Philly cheesesteaks. I got a bunch of steak rolls that I'm going to use as well, because I want some bread with a little bit more chew to it. Here's a question for you guys. Let me see if I can put a poll up. I want to know your guys' opinion. Where is my ability to add a poll? Start a poll. Okay, so garlic mayo on Philly cheese steak. Yes or no? There it is. There's a poll at the top. Garlic mayo on Philly cheesesteak. Should I do it? That is the question. I look like a biker with this. I think I just look like a redneck with it, personally. 79% yes. Really? Garlic mayo like tube? Kind of, but not really. More like a garlic aioli. Do it. All right, well then that settles it. I will make some tonight for sure. Jeremiah Hembry renewed his membership. Says, would you like Steven Spielberg to make a live-action Medal of Honor video game movie? Well, he'd just be making Saving Private Ryan again. That's what Saving Private Saving Private Ryan is the inspiration for a lot of Medal of Honor games. Know any good Larry the Cable Guy bits? My sister covered with moles. That's all I remember. I hate to say this. On the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, his bit was the one I watched the least. My favorite was Bill Engvall's. I think you would make a Modern Warfare movie adaptation or a Black Ops movie. That would be interesting. I would be interested to see Steven Spielberg take that on. Especially considering he did Munich. And Munich is one of my favorite Spielberg movies. And not just because Jew, but because it's a really cool retelling, and it had a great cast. So, it would be really, I would watch it. I would give it a shot, because if with as good as Munich was, he could probably do some justice with it. Garlic is something that makes most things better. Very true, especially meat, especially beef. Beef and garlic, oh man. It just goes so well together. Ramirez, defend Burger Town. You want Michael Bay to make a Modern Warfare 2 movie? That's the thing. Like, Call of Duty games, especially like the Modern Warfare series, Modern Warfare 2 and further, were basically Michael Bay stuff. Like, it wasn't like it had the depth of a fucking puddle. Funnily enough, I'm trying to remember his name, the actor who he played in GTA 4. The guy who played Mikhail Faustin was also the original voice actor for the Russian bad guy in Modern Warfare. Which, I don't know why, but he was always my favorite, like, of the mafia bosses in in GTA 4. He always made me laugh. Because he was always so coked out of his fucking mind. heard that 13 Hours was pretty good. I've also heard good things about 13 Hours, but I never got around to watching it. I knew that of a lot of the movies that I knew would never get a good review, 13 Hours was one of them. I knew it. I'm like, there's no fucking way somebody's going to review 13 Hours and going to give it a good review in the world of film critics. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, Micah Faustin was just such an entertaining character. Shut the fuck up! My fucking wife is watching television. Nickelback, baby. You need to go here and you need to shoot the guy. Okay, I'm starting to turn into Strong Bad with that. Which now I want Strong Bad to be dubbed over Micah Faustin. That would be amazing. Oh, man. Recommend 13 Hours in Pain and Gain. I've heard really good things about Pain and Gain. Because that's the one with Rock and Mark Wahlberg. Where they're like bodybuilder criminals, right? But yeah, I've heard good things about that one too. Where they're like because before they dispose of like some hands, they're putting them on a grill to burn off the fucking fingerprints. I'm like, what the hell? Based on a true story. I'll have to look into it. Here's the thing, like, how many bad movies, now that I'm done talking about spoiled brats, how many, I really misspelled that, hold on. How many bad movies has Michael Bay actually made? Like, let's look at his filmography. Not count, like, these are ones that he directed. Bad Boys was good. The Rock was good. Armageddon I never watched. This is notable to me because Ben Affleck on the set of the film, while they're in the midst of shooting, goes up to Michael Bay and starts telling him about something scientific. I don't remember, but he's actualing the fucking director. And Michael Bay just stops what he's doing, turns to look at Ben Affleck and just goes, "Ben, shut up." Stop talking. What are you trying to do? You know? Pearl Harbor I never watched, but I heard good things about. Bad Boys 2 was good. I really like this movie. The Island I never saw. Transformers, the first one was not bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Revenge of the Fallen sucked so hard. Dark of the Moon was better than the previous one, but still wasn't that great. I never saw Age of Extinction. I definitely didn't see Last Night. I need to see 13 Hours, Pain and Gain. And that's all I really know. I don't know what Six Underground is. Never heard of that. Question for you guys. Who wants some channel merch? Speak now. All right, let's get even more specific. How about a t-shirt that has this on it? Have a good one, Brian. Who gets the joke? Rocket got it. He's like, fuck. God damn it. Regimania has joined. Or, no, member for a month, so he is renewed. Thank you very much for your renewal, good sir. Rock's like, God damn it. Is it a Bob's Burgers reference? No, it's a Gundam reference. Hold on one second. It's a reference to what happened here. Remember when they find Bernie's body, they say that he looked like Hamburger? Like, it spawned some cursed fucking memes, man. Like, hold on, let me save this one, because this one's really good. Like this right here. It's so fucking wrong. I fucking love it. Hopefully I do a G-Gundam review at some point, for sure. At some point we will do it. It's so bad. I love it. It's so fucking wrong. Oh man. But yeah, this is where the t-shirt comes from. Also, Christina's got some very hairy arms. I guess she's Italian. But yeah, there's a couple of t-shirt designs that are finished. And then a third one is going to be worked on. It needs a little bit more work before it's ready to go. But there's this one, There is also one that the Vanilla Gorilla Seal of Approval. Bobby Hill from the recent King of the Hill looks like me in my 20s. Kind of does, yeah. Only I'm a lot bigger than him. Like broad-wise. But yeah, we are planning these. I want to get the third one done because what I am effectively going to do is I am going to use these t-shirts and the sales from them to fund the process of starting my own mecha book. Now, I'm already working on one that I've been contracted to edit, but that's not my universe. That's not the one I have in mind. So, but I need money for it because I need money to get a... It's at the point where I need a mecha designer. So, and that's expensive. Yeah. So, could Lolly be my long-lost brother? No, because he's not from Arizona and he's not older than me. But yeah, once the third design is done, we will be doing an official unveiling of the shirts and the channel merch store. So just make a meme based off of "If you don't laugh, you're a liberal," where if you don't laugh, you're a fetty, and have Shar laughing at the misfortune of Garma's birth. Maybe I'll do something like that at some point. But yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, or a shirt that says "Don't be a Melvin." If the Melvin thing catches on, we will do it. Because that one, it just, something just hit with it when I was doing the video. I'm like, shut up, Melvin. Alright. Well, guys, it is that time of day. That time of day when it is getting kind of warm in my office because of these damn lamps. But we have had a good little rant. Who's Melvin? Somebody that won't shut up. You fucking Melvin. But yeah, good ranting, to say the least. Seems like a lot of people agreed with it. But I am in need of a bit of a rest because I woke up way too early today. So I want to go take an old man nap, get up, eat, and then play some video games before I go to sleep. So, because I got all my work stuff done early today. So I'm going to finish watching a video, but for those of you who are not members, you might want to consider it. Because, I didn't talk about Helldivers 2. Never playing it again because the creator basically said it was a psyop, so fuck him. But for those of you who are not members, I would consider becoming a member because Grips War Part 4 is getting uploaded tonight. So, with all that said, I am going to go ahead and take off and get a bit of rest. I appreciate all you guys coming by, hanging out, especially those of you who were liberal with super chats and renewing memberships and becoming members. It definitely helps, to say the least. So, I'm going to take off. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will see you guys next Tuesday for another installment.